Standoff. President Donald Trump still refusing to comply with an order from the Supreme Court to facilitate the return of a Maryland man his administration admits to wrongly deporting to El Salvador. Why is no one in the Trump administration being held in contempt? And what does this mean for the freedom and safety of American citizens? Welcome to the No Spin Zone. Graph's Grievances starts right now. It was a remarkable and deeply troubling scene in the Oval Office on Monday. President Trump, sitting beside El Salvador's president Nayib Bukele, made it perfectly clear he has no intention of following the Supreme Court's directive. Just days earlier, on April 10th, the High Court instructed Trump's administration to facilitate the return of a man wrongly deported to a Salvadorian prison. That man is Kilmar Abrego Garcia, a Maryland resident arrested by ICE in Baltimore on March 12th. Agents accused him of being in a Salvadorian gang and falsely told him his protected legal status in the U.S. had changed. 3 days later, just 3 days later, he was deported alongside other migrants to a notorious Salvadorian prison, infamous for human rights abuses. But here's where the story takes a turn. Abrego Garcia's wife acted fast. She filed a lawsuit arguing that her husband's deportation violated a 2019 immigration court order, one that explicitly barred his removal to El Salvador due to a, quote, clear probability of future persecution there. Then, something almost unheard of. The Trump administration admitted it made a mistake in deporting him. In a March 31st court filing, the Trump administration confessed to an administrative error in deporting Abrego Garcia, sending a man back to a country he fled over a decade ago, where, according to his lawyers, he was stalked, beaten, and threatened with kidnapping and death by gang members. Despite that admission, the Trump administration still refused to comply with U.S. District Judge Paula Zina's order to bring him back. So the Supreme Court had to step in. On April 10th, it unanimously instructed the government to, quote, facilitate and effectuate Abrego Garcia's return to the United States. But what exactly does that mean? That deliberately vague phrase, facilitate and effectuate, now falls to Judge Zenith to interpret. Is the administration doing enough? Is it doing anything at all? Making matters more complex, the Supreme Court also told Judge Zenith to, quote, due regard for the deference owed to the executive branch in the conduct of foreign affairs. That's a major loophole because Abrego Garcia is currently being held by a foreign government over 1,200 miles away. So when his lawyers asked Judge Zenith to compel the Trump administration to send a plane and retrieve him, Trump's Justice Department objected. Their argument? That would be stepping into foreign policy. And then came the Oval Office moment.
Do you plan to return him?
Well, I'm supposed to have suggested that I smuggle a terrorist into the United States, right?
It's always how
can I smuggle? How can I return him to the United States? Like I smuggle him into the United States, or what do I do? Of course, I'm not going to do it. It's like, the question is preposterous. How can I smuggle a terrorist into the United States? I don't have the power to return him to the United States.
Standing next to Trump, President Bukele falsely labeled Abrego Garcia a terrorist and made it clear El Salvador would not be sending him back. Trump, he just smiled. This isn't just a failure to comply with a court order. This is a public defiant shrug, a president actively undermining the rule of law. So now we wait. This case is almost certainly heading back to the Supreme Court, where the justices will have to decide, has the Trump administration followed their directive or deliberately ignored it? And here's the real concern. The conservative majority on the court may once again look the other way. Let's be clear, this isn't North Korea. This isn't some rogue nation where the US has no leverage. Trump has a cozy transactional relationship with Bukele. The US is literally paying El Salvador $6 million to detain migrants deported from our country. If Trump wanted Abrego Garcia returned, he could have made it happen in that very Oval Office meeting yesterday. It could happen today with a single phone call. Trump's refusal to act is a direct violation of the Supreme Court's order, whether the justices want to see it that way or not. This isn't just about one man or one deportation. This is about the power of a president to ignore the courts, even after admitting wrongdoing, and suffer no consequences. If a president can wrongly deport someone, then admit they did so, and still refuse to bring that person back, then what's stopping Trump from deporting American citizens next? And once they're gone, what guarantee is that they will ever be allowed to return? The truth is, the freedom of every American hinges on accountability. Without it, there is no law. And without law, there is no safety. Not for Abrego Garcia, not for all immigrants, and not for all U.S. citizens. Thank you for watching Graf's Grievances. Let me know what you think. Please like, subscribe, share, and join me tomorrow for more.